Iran's most powerful man is gone. But the real question isn't how he died. The real question is whether this war was actually designed to remove him. If you came here from the shorts I posted earlier, welcome. Over the last few days, I asked 3 important questions. Why was Iran's most powerful man killed? Was this a decapitation strike? And perhaps the most important question of all, who actually benefits from Iran's leadership crisis? Because sometimes wars are not only about missiles, territory, or retaliation. Sometimes wars are about something much bigger: power. The death of Iran's supreme leader has triggered one of the most serious geopolitical questions the Middle East has faced in years. Not just how it happened, but why it happened at this moment, during a conflict that was already escalating. To understand why this matters so much, we first need to understand the role of the supreme leader inside Iran's political system. Unlike many countries where presidents or prime ministers control the government, Iran's supreme leader sits above the entire political structure. The position is designed to be the ultimate authority in the country. While Iran does have a president and a parliament, the supreme leader holds final power over key decisions. He oversees the armed forces. He influences intelligence operations. He has the final word on Iran's nuclear strategy. And he plays a central role in shaping the country's foreign policy. Perhaps even more importantly, the supreme leader has deep influence over the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, one of the most powerful military and political institutions inside Iran. In simple terms, the president runs the government, but the supreme leader controls the direction of the state. This is why his sudden death during wartime immediately triggered global attention. Because removing a leader with that much authority does not just affect one office, it can shake the entire structure of power. But there is another question analysts began asking almost immediately. Was this simply a tragic consequence of war, or was the leadership itself the target? In military strategy, there is a concept known as leadership decapitation. The idea is relatively simple but extremely controversial. Instead of fighting a prolonged conflict against an entire military system, a strike targets the leadership at the very top. The theory behind this strategy is that removing a central decision-maker can disrupt the command structure of the enemy. Without clear leadership, military coordination becomes more difficult, internal rivalries can increase, and the overall stability of the system can weaken. This strategy has been used in counterterrorism operations and modern warfare for decades. But applying it to the leader of a major state is extremely rare and highly risky, because sometimes removing a leader does not weaken the system. Sometimes it makes the system more aggressive. This is exactly the uncertainty now surrounding Iran. With the supreme leader gone, the country faces one of the most important political transitions in its modern history. Iran has a constitutional process for choosing a new leader. The responsibility falls to a body known as the Assembly of Experts, a council of clerics tasked with selecting the next supreme leader. But leadership transitions during wartime are never simple. Different power centers inside the country may try to influence the outcome. The Revolutionary Guard has enormous influence within Iran's political and security system. Religious institutions also play a central role in the country's leadership structure. And political factions inside the government may have very different visions for Iran's future. All of this creates the possibility of a temporary power vacuum. And power vacuums are some of the most dangerous moments in geopolitics. Because uncertainty can lead to internal struggles, strategic miscalculations, and sudden shifts in alliances. This brings us to the question that many analysts believe is the most important of all. Who benefits? Whenever a major geopolitical event occurs, especially one involving the removal of a powerful leader, analysts often look at who might gain from the situation. Iran's regional rivals may see an opportunity if leadership instability weakens Tehran's ability to coordinate military operations across the region. Internal factions inside Iran may see a chance to increase their influence during the leadership transition. And global powers may view the situation as a potential turning point in negotiations surrounding nuclear policy, sanctions, and regional security. But the reality is that removing a leader does not automatically change the entire system. Iran's political structure is deeply institutionalized, with multiple layers of authority and long-standing networks of influence. That means the system may adapt, reorganize, and continue operating even after the loss of a central figure, which is why the real consequences of this moment may take months or even years to fully understand. So was Iran's supreme leader the real target of this war? Right now, the world does not have a definitive answer. But what we do know is that when the most powerful person in a country disappears during a conflict, the effects ripple far beyond that single event, across Iran, across the Middle East, and across the global balance of power. Because in geopolitics, leadership is not just about authority, it is about control. And when control changes hands, the entire strategic landscape can shift. If you want deeper analysis of global conflicts, strategy, and the forces shaping our world, subscribe to Mind of the World. Because here we don't just follow the news,